Wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of the proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. Procedure we will following for the hearing is as follows. After each application is read, the applicant, their agent representative will be asked to present their application, followed by any questions or comments from the committee. Then all correspondence will be read, and all others in favor will have a chance to speak. Anyone objecting will then have a chance to speak, and I will ask for a summary of the committee's field observations and any staff comments. Finally, the applicant would be allowed a chance for a short rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use a microphone, state their name, and direct their comments to the committee. I ask that all testimony be kept brief, no more than 5 minutes, and to the point. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded, and recordings will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or secondhand information, as well as any slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The committee has looked at all the properties, and the records will reflect these observations. Any person affected by the administrative decision of this committee has 10 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustments. Information and applications are available from the zoning office. The county assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of the 10-day period. I will now introduce the committee. I'm Joe Piaski, the chairman. To my left is Mike Likeness, Larry Crawford, and to my right is Terry Dopp-Hochstedt, zoning administrator. Okay. Our first application is a conditional use for the Herdeman Living Trust of Wautoma. Has made application for conditional use in accordance with sections 58-454, paragraph 32, with the Waushara County Zoning Code to construct approximately 64 by 32 addition with a 6 by 64 foot porch on a full basement attached to an existing mobile home dwelling, resulting in the conversion of a structure to a two-family dwelling in the AG General Ag Zone. Location approximately 80-acre parcel of land being the west one half of the southeast one quarter, excluding outlot 1 of certified survey map number 2672, section 22, Town of Wautoma, N3403, State Road 22. Is the applicant here? Come up to the mic. Could you tell us a little bit about it and your name?
Sure. I'm Gene Herdeman, and we have an existing log home there. It's been there for about 15 years. We would like to add some space, some living space, and a garage. And we are building a log structure to match the existing home. Or we'd like to build a log structure to match the existing home. This is not intended to be for a two-family dwelling. It's meant to expand the living space and bedrooms available for the groups and family that we already have. Building an addition to a log home is very difficult to connect the two structures and make them sound. So the conditional use permit, I think, is meant to allow us to attach something close enough to be an addition, but do so by attaching the foundation. That's a basic description of what we're trying to do. We just want to expand the living quarters of what we have and add a garage.
Okay, we have some questions from the committee.
Mr. Herdeman, just a few questions for the record, and my first question was explained by you about the reasons for making this into a not intended for a two-family dwelling. The existing home and septic system were constructed in 1995, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What sort of sanitary facilities are you planning for the second unit?
We're planning on increasing the holding tank on the septic system. Are you talking inside the house, or are you talking about the septic system itself?
The septic system.
Septic system, yeah. We're expanding the septic tank size.
Have you had anyone look at your plans and make recommendations for the sanitary facilities for the second unit?
Yes, we had Bill Thoma of Berlin, who installed the original system, come out and make his recommendations and inspect it.
The construction will meet all the required setbacks. you plan to combine the 240s and vacate an easement to ensure setbacks are met? Is that
That's already
correct?
been done.
Okay. You're sure of the lot lines?
Yes.
Are you planning any other construction at this time? Will there be any changes to the driveway?
Very, very small changes. Up on the top where the circle is, we may have to, in order to make the traffic flow around the circle that we have right now, we may have to change a few of the profiles of the rock lining and stuff.
Have you talked to your neighbors in the township about any of that?
No, I have not.
Questions, Larry?
No.
Correspondence?
Yeah, you can have a seat. And we received 2 letters. The first is from the plumber, received yesterday, May 18th. It says, "To the Waushara County Zoning Department, this letter is in reference to the property owned by Gene and Claire Herdeman, Northwest Quarter, Southeast Quarter, Section 22, Town of Wautoma, Waushara County. As the owner proposes to do an addition to the existing home and increase the number of bedrooms from 2 to 5, a larger tank is required. The existing 800-gallon treatment tank will be replaced with a 2,000-gallon tank. The existing drain field is in satisfactory condition and will accommodate the estimated daily wastewater flow, which will be 6 people. An undersized system affidavit will be filed at the Waushara County Zoning Department. The owner states that if the existing drain field would fail, then he would replace it with a code-complying drain field to accommodate a 5-bedroom residence." And that's signed by William Toma, who is a master plumber and a certified soil tester. And the other letter is from the town of Wautoma, and that was received back on May 10th, and it is addressed to me. "Dear Terry, the town of Wautoma has had contact with Dale Clark. He is the contractor for Gene and Claire Herdeman. The Herdemans are planning to add to their log home on State Trunk Highway 22. It was explained to us because of the log home construction, any addition would have to be built separate from the older portion. At the May 3rd town board meeting, the town board did discuss this request. We were informed that this addition would not be a rental home or used by anybody other than family members. With the information provided, the town of Wautoma has no objections to this request. If you have any questions, please let me know." And that is signed, "Thank you," by Jeff Nett, the town chair. And that's it for correspondence.
Anyone in favor to speak?
Yes, the builder is also here.
Dale Clark.
Yes, my name is Dale Clark, and this all started with the difficulty in attaching a new structure to an old structure. Basically, the new structure is going to get 5 inches lower, which means the roofs can't touch or they get ripped apart. So after a couple of consultations with zoning, this plan seemed to make everybody at least comfortable. So even though the label duplex at first glance seems wrong, it seems to meet the requirements, and the stated purpose haven't changed. It's a family addition, more bedrooms and a bathroom. And the issue with the septic will be taken care of. We can tie into existing well and plumbing, and there, as Gene pointed out, we may have to shift the turnaround at the very top of the hill behind the log house over, but there'll be no changes all the way up to the road. Since I did the log work 17 years ago or 16 years ago, there's been considerable growth in trees, and now you can't even see the property from the road, at least this time of year. So I just wanted to thank everybody for consideration, and if you have any specific questions, I'll certainly try to answer it. So thanks.
Nope, that's it.
Any objections? Nothing there?
Nope, no one in registered.
Information?
Nope.
Staff comments?
For the record, the committee has previously been furnished with a copy of the site plan and all the other pertinent data for this and all the other applications that will be considered tonight. This time I'd like to explain a little bit about conditional use permits. All zones that are out there have uses that you can just do. They are permitted outright. Along with those uses, and most of those are building a single-family home or, building a garage, those kind of things. Along with that, there are also uses that are listed as conditional uses, and they may be permitted provided certain conditions are met. That's what we're looking at here tonight, a use that may be permitted provided that certain parameters can be complied with, and it keeps the use in coordination with the surrounding properties and their uses. So, in some counties, these permits are called special exception permits, and sometimes people have an easier time wrapping their mind around that terminology. It's the landowner's responsibility to provide the information that shows the committee this use is still in keeping with the zone and area that it is proposed for, and that the conditions placed on it will ensure that it will be a good neighbor to the surrounding landowners. When the committee visited the property, they noted that the current home location is isolated, including not being visible from the public road, and that the landowner certainly has lots of room to expand out there. I would like to add that I was involved with talking with the builder when he came in, and we couldn't figure out any other thing to call this than a duplex, because even though it's adding living space onto an existing home, you can't get from one part to the other. So if anyone were to ever purchase this home, a microwave and a stove would turn it into a duplex in an instant. So it just seemed like this was the thing to call it, and this was the permit to get in order to make sure that we didn't have any problems, maybe not while you're there, but should anyone else ever be there, that it would be properly permitted. I'd also like to add that unfortunately Mr. Toma didn't do his calculations quite properly. It was installed as a 2-bedroom home, and current sizing requirements say that the drain field would accommodate the output from a total of only 3 people, not 6. So personally, I would recommend that you look at, as long as you're going to dig up the yard and put in a bigger tank, think about putting in more drain field at the same time so that it's at least closer to what it should be, or size it for the 5 bedrooms right away. And that's it for my comments.
The applicant have anything rebuttal? Okay. Move on to our next one. Next one, the application is Stuart Carpenter of Green Bay has made an application for conditional use after the fact in accordance with section 58-236, parentheses 18 and 58-254-31 of the Waushara County zoning code to store a 16-foot 1977 Jayco travel trailer in the AG General Ag Zone within the shoreland area. Location approximately 643 by 888-foot parcel land, approximately 13.477 acres in size, being part of the northeast 1 quarter of the northwest 1 quarter, section 17, town of Oasis, and 6473 8th Drive. The applicant, can you explain to us what you got there?
Good evening. I have a travel trailer sitting on our 14 acres that Dwight Seward and I own together. And yes, it's after the fact. I didn't know we needed a variance on that. When I asked for a fire number, it came to everybody's attention, and you were very good about coming out and so forth. So that's what led to today's hearing and request for a variance. Almost all of the people that surround me are acquaintances of mine, except to the east. And I don't know who the gentleman is that owns across 8th. But Dick Weymouth is here, who is to my south, and Andy and Marcia Spies own the property to the west, and also they're a 1 quarter owner of the farm across County Trunk P. I have emails from Nick Spies, who has the farm, that he doesn't care. Kirby Spies, that welcome aboard, in fact, he said. No problem with your variance request, no issue with the camper on the land, and so forth. So I'm just requesting a variance to keep the camper on the land. I think you inspected it. We tried to keep it neat and clean and mowed, and can't hardly keep it mowed this year, but try to keep it mowed. And we use a porta potty from Wautoma Rental here. So, any questions?
We have some questions from the committee.
Sure.
Okay.
Is the trailer license and roadworthy at this time?
We were given the trailer. My wife was a school teacher, and one of her good friends' mother died, and she gave it to us. It was sitting up in Shawano County. And I brought it down from Shawano County, and I do not have a title for it. It's about a 1977. To go through and to get the title, it's a lost title, and it's quite an involved process with the state, and I have not gone forward unless you make some request that I have to go for it. Otherwise, I'm not pulling it. I don't take it anywhere other than on the land. And the next spot that it would go to is probably years from now to be destroyed, or a junkyard or something like that. I would never sell it, and so forth. It does not leak, though. We did a lot of work. I put an all-new floor in it, and so forth, just to have a getaway from our house in Green Bay and to be next to our friends.
It's a license,
I can't find the serial number on it, is the
not
problem.
licensed, but it's roadworthy.
Yeah, I pulled it there. Sure, the tires are fine and so forth.
It doesn't have a title. Will the trailer be at least 100 feet from all lot lines?
Yes, it is now.
Has there been a recent survey?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you sure the lot, sorry. Are you sure of all the lot lines?
I would be sure of them. Sure, I bought all the property without a survey, so stepping it off or measuring it from the center of the road, it exceeds 100 feet. So,
Will there be running water?
no, we bring in water.
What type of sanitation facilities are you planning in addition to those that may be in the in the unit?
We don't use any of the units sanitary. We just use Washera porta potty. And but I did talk to Fargo and so forth, and we got some estimates on a well and also on a septic system, because at some time in the future we may build a house there. So, and he is the town chairman there too. So,
Yeah, are there other buildings or constructions planned which you say could be in time?
down the road, probably a shed, which I guess would need a permit, huh?
Okay.
Right now, just we have like a garden shed there. So,
Are there other trailers in the area?
no,
Is a new driveway needed?
no. In fact, we had Dick Detler came out with his front end loader and put in a drive for us.
Is this property in management forced law?
No,
You have it, do you have a uniform property address number?
I do. Just got it. You need it? No.
That's-
Okay.
That's all the questions I have.
Any correspondence?
No correspondence on this application?
Anybody in favor to speak?
There's lots of people in favor to speak.
First one is Dwight Seward.
Dwight Seward. I live in Neenah, Wisconsin. I'm co-owner of this property, and I guess we've been very fortunate. It's a good piece of property, and we enjoy the use of it. As far as I'm concerned, the trailer that's on there is not really affecting the value or the I guess the appearance of the property at all. So I would definitely be in favor of use of this land in that fashion. Any questions or? Okay.
Next one is registered in favor to speak, Richard Weymouth.
My name is Dick Weymouth. I live on the north shore of Long Lake, south of Highway 8th Drive. Across the road from us, my family owned 5 acres that joins this property that's up for variance permit. Their south shore, their south line is the same as our north line of this property. We have absolutely no objection to favoring these people with their application for variance. The trailer park there doesn't have any problem with us whatsoever. That's my speech.
And we have registered only, and in favor of the application is Andrew Spees. Registered only in favor of the application is Marcia Spees. Any opposition?
Nope. No one else is registered? No correspondence?
Have comments?
Well, again, for the record, the committee has received everything that was submitted with the application, and this is another conditional use. It's not a variance, it's a conditional use that can be permitted, provided that there are certain conditions that are met. In the conditional use section of our code, there are a couple things that I should point out, and one is that trailers that are placed like this and stored when they are unoccupied, it's really a permit to store the trailer rather than use it. Otherwise, people just tend to leave them there and they can kind of deteriorate. So if you want to leave it there, we do an annual inspection. It does need to be titled and licensed, so you will need to do that if the committee does approve it. And again, that it's at least 100 feet off the property lines. You've heard that. And they do like them so that they are not visible from public roads. So I thought I would mention that as part of the selected conditional use criteria that's actually listed in the code. When the committee visited the property, they noted that there is a fire number already present. There is a porta potty and electricity at the site, and that the unit was visible from the county road on P. The committee did discuss that screening from the public road may be warranted in this case. There aren't any other units in the area, and that would bring it more into compliance with the selected conditional use requirements. And that's it.
Does the applicant have any rebuttal?
Not a rebuttal, but can Dick Detler has offered to bring in some big trees and plant them. Is that sufficient? Something like that?
We had
Just a
discussed-
screen.
We had discussed a fence or tall enough trees to screen it from the road.
I think trees would look better than even a fence. So
You have big trees already. The problem is they're kind of bare underneath, and so you need that smaller.
that's
big
why we
tree.
planted that whole row of arborvitae was kind of to block it. But they're going to be a few
But those
years
take a
before they
while,
get tall.
right.
But Dick said he's got some 6 and 7 foot trees, and I can move that deck and that trailer out a ways, and then put
Behind
them
there.
right behind it. Good.
We
Thank
just-
you very much.
We just noticed it from the road, and a lot of people comment on being visible from the road.
I have to tell you that when I had the guy come out to do the electricity, the first comment he said, "Oh, are you the guy with the porta potty and the trailer on County Trunk B?" So I hear you. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll go on to the third application. Graziano Gardens, Shelley Christie, landowner, Wapaka, has made application for a conditional use in accordance with Section 58-454 of Sheriff County Zoning Code to establish a residential garden design center with outdoor displays, demonstrations, and retail sales, utilizing a proposed 30-foot by 76-foot greenhouse in the AG General Ag Zone. Location approximately 40-acre parcel of land being the southwest one quarter of the northwest one quarter, Section 2, Town of Saxville, W3280 Akron Court. And state your name for us.
Hi, I'm Shelley Christie, and my husband Scott Christie. We both own the spot on Akron Court that you just mentioned, bought it last summer. Currently, I own a small landscaping business, garden design. 60% of the business is garden maintenance, and do a lot of softscape installs, which is primarily the planting. But I'm working out of my home in Wapaka, Wisconsin, and have been for about 6 years. So currently I'm going to have a huge sale there tomorrow and Sunday, so lots of product there. So I'm hoping to use the new property not only for personal use and growing vegetables and that type of thing, but to, out of necessity, house all the plants, trees, shrubs, that type of thing for my business. So I'll be buying some of that stuff, but in addition, I've started doing a lot more shorefront restoration work and helping people with mitigation process, at least in Wapaka County. I do work for a few people on Long Lake and Gilbert Lake and things like that, but I can't find the natives that I want that satisfy the instant gratification for the customers. So I'd like to expand my my plant selection and start growing a lot of those natives as well, some from seed, some from plug form. So that is primarily the objective for using that area. My goal is not to become a 7-day retail sales nursery. That is not in the near future unless business is begging me to do that, which, you know, that is not my goal. We work from pretty much April, May to October, and then we're done. So it wouldn't be used at all in the winter months. I kind of summarized that in there. I'm longer term. I would like tomorrow and Saturday, I have a one-time big sale. Do that type of thing at the farm rather than in my backyard. So, and if business goes well, maybe even 3 or 4 times in the spring, 3 or 4 weekends in the spring, have a bigger sale, but not 7 days a week. And then if I get into the vegetables and that type of thing, or want to liquidate some inventory before I try to winter it all, I might have a sale in the fall. Did everyone get my outline and application? If you have questions on that without me repeating it, otherwise I can kind of summarize everything on it. It's up to you. I didn't bring any neighbors with me, but I want to point out I called everyone who got a letter. I got that list from the folks in zoning, talked to everyone, and they were all very supportive. And I'm sorry I didn't make copies, but I have 2 letters of recommendation from immediate neighbors, Pat and Muriel Mark, who are right next to us, and then the whole Lurkey family who farms my property. So can I give these to you? I didn't have time to make copies.
And I'll read them into the record.
Oh, thank you. I also met with the town of Saxville on, what night was that? My days are getting mixed up. Tuesday night, I met with them at their board meeting, and I think they said they were going to support me, and we're hoping to get a letter to you by today.
There's one here.
Okay, wonderful. So I did go through that process, and they seem to be very supportive as well.
We have some questions for you.
Sure.
Will there be any employees from outside the immediate family?
Yes.
How many are you thinking about?
So far, it has ranged from 1 3/4 person and about 3 third to half-time people who help me, and that's on jobs primarily. But the more I grow plants, they may help me, pot stuff up and that type of thing. I don't. If I get into vegetable production and all-natural / organic vegetable production and a small orchard, that may expand, but it's very part-time people. So anywhere from, to answer your question, anywhere from 1 to 4 people plus me.
And your employees will be out there to pick up product, take the product, okay.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what we were kind of
maybe water the plants, if the irrigation isn't working, and move them around, that type of thing.
What sort of traffic will there be, and what sort of parking will you allow for?
If I have a sale, the goal was, and I did outline the lot, the whole 40-acre parcel and then I did a closer up view. If you look on that page marked B, I stayed significant distance away from the road. I believe there's almost 60 feet from the center of the road, maybe even further. So I thought people could park in front of that fenced area or along my driveway, because there's quite a few feet from the driveway to that fenced-in area, because that's where I would house, because of deer, of course, and security, although it doesn't seem to be a problem out there. They would park in that area. It would be closest for them. I didn't measure off how many it would fit or anything.
The only time you suspect you have a lot of traffic out there is when you had a sale day.
Exactly.
How
Yeah.
many people do you presently get in Wapaka? Yeah.
Throughout the day, maybe a few hundred. I have a mailing of about 300, and I have about 150 customers. Yeah.
Planning any advertising signs?
No, I have little signs that I put on my job sites. They're, I think, 2x3 metal signs that are colored, nice color, and they poke into the ground. That's what I'd like to poke out kind of closer to the road, so if I have some deliveries or someone's trying to find me.
Are you aware of the state building codes and other state requirements, and will they all be met?
I checked into that, and everyone, yes, I don't know every single building code. I know that it's a temporary structure, and there are certain requirements with that temporary structure. So everything I've done so far is, I haven't finished building it because this hasn't been approved and I'm out of money right now, but everything that's been done has been done by a certified electrician. The plumber was a certified well driller, so everything I'm doing is to code that I'm doing so far. And the person who put it up is also a contractor, not me. So I'm trying to do it all, by the book.
What sort of sanitary facilities are you planning for out there?
We use the house bathroom because there's a house there, so the existing restroom in the house, which we plan to continue to use as a family, but for the business, the employees would use the house restroom.
Customers as well.
Yeah, initially, I mean, if I had to, I'd get I'd use a porta potty for like the sales, but I don't foresee it getting that big, so I have no problems with them using the house.
Are there any other additions or buildings planned other than what is indicated on your site plan?
Not at this time. If there's the Department of Conservation has a program right now for organic produce and non-organic produce that they're doing a study with high tunnels for extending the growth period of vegetables and herbs and things like edibles. And so if all goes well in the next couple years, I may add another high tunnel type greenhouse, which looks pretty similar to this under that program.
It appears that this is a seasonal business with outside displays and products in the spring, summer, and the fall, but everything would be stored inside during the winter. Is that true?
No, trees and shrubs. I'm hoping to do the pot and pot system where you literally put them in the ground inside another pot. It's better for wind. The wind out there is horrible. And irrigation then could be set up so they would stand in that fenced-in area. Now, I might plant a little tiny orchard behind. I think I did point that out. There's behind the pole shed there's kind of a grassy knoll, and I have fruit trees, but that's just, a small little orchard. So, but the rest of the product would stand, and it wouldn't, or be covered with row cover. I'm hoping to fit 90% of it in the greenhouse to winter.
But you want to have like lawn furniture and stuff like that around?
No, I don't sell accessories, and if I do bring in some pots and ornamental things, they would be brought inside. Absolutely.
What are your plans for the home located out there?
We are in the process of just painting and ripping out old carpet and hoping to use it as a family. We're not going to live there full time right now.
But it's your home and you
Yeah.
occupied.
Yep.
Okay. Are you planning anything different with the driveway?
I'm glad you asked that. I talked to a few delivery people this spring, and it might be nice to be able to widen the apron. So I guess I'm going to have to talk to zoning about the requirements for that. But that would help a lot for deliveries. So just widening the apron, I really didn't plan on, it's pretty costly to put in a whole.
Township road?
No, there are zoning requirements too, and I was just making a note.
Okay.
In agricultural areas, your entrance width can be up to 50 feet wide
Okay.
for agricultural uses or commercial uses, and this is, if it's approved, it's going to be kind of both. So
Okay.
that's
Thank
pretty
you.
wide.
Okay, yeah, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
We had a question about if you needed a new fire number. The house is going to be yours. I guess the only reason we thought is if you're going to have a lot of activities out there, the other part might need a separate number, but I don't think you really have to do it.
Whatever
thought
you'd
you might-
recommend.
I
Might have
thought you
been
might
rental.
rent the house out too, and then if you
At
wanted to
this
get
point,
mail
we're
there.
trying not to if financially we have to. So then if we decide to do that, then we should come and get a separate number.
Just call us
Okay.
and we'll.
Because that opens up a whole can of worm with restroom facilities. The money might be nice, but our goal is not to rent it out.
Has there been a recent survey of the property?
We bought it as a foreclosure, and so we went online and used all of the GPS systems you have. So we have not surveyed it, and I don't know what you have on record, so I don't know if there's been a recent survey.
Do you know where all the lot lines are?
Mm-hmm.
The markers still out there?
Went and found them all.
Approval is granted when we start working from this location, or you probably are ready, but
I brought a lot of inventory in this year because I'm busier than I ever have been, and for the sale tomorrow and Friday, and usually it parks in my backyard, but because the structure was already put up, I did put some stuff in there, yes.
Anybody have any other questions? Okay, you can take a seat and then
Okay,
we'll
thank you.
go into any correspondence.
Yes, we have 2 letters submitted tonight, and one from the town of Saxville received yesterday. I'll read the one submitted tonight first. The first one is dated May 15th. To whom it may concern, our family has lived in the town of Saxville for over 120 years. Our neighborhood has good people who come and go. The Christie family is one of the best neighbors we have had. It is nice to see hardworking, energetic people who care so much for the land. They have done a lot of work to enhance the beauty of the property. Waushara County needs more people like the Christies. We have no problem with the greenhouse and plants they have outside for their landscaping business, Graziano Gardens. We hope Waushara County and the town of Saxville would not either. Please feel free to contact us if you have any further questions about the Christie property. And that's signed sincerely, the Lorkey family, Dolores, Randy, Marge, Brian, Tricia, Stephanie, Brandon, Jalen, and Abby. Everybody. And the other one is also to whom it may concern. It's dated April 29th. Regarding our neighbors Scott and Shelley Christie, who want to start a small business raising plants and shrubs, we have no objections. We welcome it and say good luck. And that's signed sincerely, Patrick and Muriel Marquardt. M-A-R-Q-U. Oh, you got those already.
Yep.
We handed those down there. And then there's the letter from the town of Saxville. We received it yesterday. It's addressed to me, Dear Terry. In the regular monthly town board meeting this evening, the town board of Saxville heard Shelley Christie's proposal to establish a residential garden design center. It is understood that the business is planned on the landowner's 40-acre parcel of land at W3280 Akron Court in the town of Saxville. It was motioned and seconded with voice vote, all in favor, to fully support Shelley Christie in her application for a conditional use permit to establish Graziano Gardens with outdoor displays, demonstrations, and retail sales. The board looks forward to having another business in the town. On behalf of the town board of Saxville, it's signed Virginia Cartwright, clerk. And that's it for correspondence.
Want to speak in favor?
No one registered to speak in favor or in opposition.
Staff comments.
Again, the committee got all the information that you did submit and all the maps and everything. It's another conditional use, you know, it can be permitted provided that it fits in and we put certain conditions on it to make sure that it stays that way. And during the on-site visit, the committee noted that the location is fairly remote with no nearby homes. Proper sanitary facilities will be needed for employees and customers. We weren't sure about the home, so that's been answered. And that a second uniform address number should be assigned should the business ever want to direct traffic to the site or get mail at this location. And that's it.
Any rebuttal from the applicants?
Anything to add?
Okay, we'll now close their zoning hearing and we'll go on with our business meeting. I guess the first thing is roll call, and you got that all recorded. Approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as read.
Motion and second. Larry seconded. Motion is made